All right, so we're diving deep today into Lancaster, PA, real estate,
Yeah.
residential, commercial, you name it.
Sounds good.
We're going way beyond just the headlines using your data as our guide. And we've got some really interesting stuff to dig into.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating market for sure.
Yeah, so let's start with the September 2024 Lancaster County Market Report. Some of these numbers really jumped out at me.
Yeah, for sure.
For example, the residential market seems to be slowing down.
It does seem that way, yeah.
Closed sales, pending sales are down.
Year over year, yeah.
Prices are still going up, but at a slower pace.
That's right. It's definitely a more moderate pace than we've seen recently.
But here's the thing that I don't get. The median sold price for September was $342,000.
Yeah.
That's way higher than the 5-year average of $297,288. How are sales slowing down while prices are still climbing?
Yeah, so it really comes down to that classic case of low supply, high demand. The report shows that active listings are down from last year, and they're also below that 5-year average.
So fewer homes on the market.
Exactly.
More competition. And that's what drives the prices up.
And it creates that almost like a frenzy for those limited properties.
It's like trying to get like a limited edition pair of sneakers.
Exactly.
Everyone wants them. The price goes through the roof.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing, even if fewer people are buying right this second. The limited inventory is really what's creating those price premiums.
Which has got to have some interesting implications for the rental market, too.
It does, yeah.
Especially for those smaller units.
Absolutely.
Those one bedrooms that everybody's looking for.
Yeah.
So what can we tell about rentals?
Right.
Specifically for those one bedrooms from the data that we have?
Well, we don't have rental trends or one-bedroom data specifically in this report,
Right.
but historically, when home sales slow down, often because of things like rising interest rates, rental demand tends to rise.
Because people are priced out of buying.
Exactly.
They're saying, I can't afford to buy right now, so I'm going to rent.
Yeah.
Which increases the competition even more for everybody.
Especially for those popular one-bedroom apartments.
Okay.
And that could lead to even higher rental rates.
Especially for those smaller in-demand units.
Absolutely.
So we've got this cooling residential market.
Yeah.
But prices are still high.
Stubbornly high.
Interest rates are a factor.
Definitely playing a role.
And all of that is likely contributing to this increase in rental demand.
It's a complex situation for sure.
Especially for those one-bedroom apartments.
And to understand it, we really need to look at the bigger picture.
Which includes what's happening with commercial real estate in Lancaster.
Exactly.
And you know we love to connect those dots.
Always.
So let's do that next. Let's shift gears and explore those commercial trends.
Sounds good. So when we look at the commercial real estate in Lancaster, it's not telling just one story. We're seeing like a segmentation in the market. Oh, interesting.
Different sectors are behaving in different ways.
Okay. I like it. Give me the segments.
All right, so industrial. For one, we've seen an uptick in vacancy, actually. Over 285,000 square feet added.
Wow.
And that's mostly due to new construction.
So more space available, but also a higher vacancy rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Smaller industrial spaces, those are actually leasing well.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's not that there's no demand.
Right.
It's just that the demand is shifting.
It seems like it.
Maybe to smaller businesses.
Potentially, yes.
Startups.
Artisans, maybe
Yeah.
people who don't need those massive warehouses.
Right, exactly.
But they're still drawn to Lancaster. And they need a place to do their thing.
Interesting. Okay, what about office spaces?
Office space is interesting. We're seeing this trend. It's called flight to quality.
Okay.
Class A spaces are in high demand right now.
Which means,
So those premium amenities,
yeah,
prime locations.
the best.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really impacting sale prices and lease rates because everybody wants them.
They do.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? Post-pandemic, businesses, they want to attract employees, and those Class A spaces, they're a big draw.
Yeah, they're nice.
They're really nice. You've got your fancy coffee machines and your gyms.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Exactly. It's not just about having an office anymore. It's about having a really nice office.
It's about the image.
It is, yeah.
It's about attracting talent.
Absolutely.
Okay, industrial office.
And last but not least, we've got retail. Retail's
Yeah.
holding steady, which is interesting.
In spite of online shopping and everything.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But shopping centers, they're doing really well. Leasing activity is strong.
So people are still going to the mall.
It seems so.
Okay.
And the vacancy rate is super low, like 1.6%.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really low.
really low.
Okay, so people are still drawn to that in-person experience.
Yeah.
What's driving that?
I think it's a few things. One, Lancaster has a really strong sense of community.
Yeah.
Yeah. People want to support those local businesses.
Yeah.
And shopping centers aren't just about shopping anymore.
Right.
They're destinations.
They've got events and
Exactrons, green spaces sometimes.
a whole experience.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how Lancaster's retail scene is adapting
It is.
and thriving.
Adapting and thriving, exactly.
Okay, so we've got this mix of traditional appeal, modern amenities, both in the residential and commercial sectors. But it's not just about the existing buildings, right?
Right.
Lancaster's got some major construction projects in the works, like that massive 600-unit apartment complex we talked about.
Yeah.
How are these projects going to impact things?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Let's delve into those a little bit.
These projects are like those pieces on a chessboard, you know?
Yeah.
Each move can totally change the game.
For sure.
Let's start with that huge apartment complex.
Okay.
The 600-unit one by High Real Estate Group.
Yeah, in Greenfield.
Yeah, in Greenfield. 600 units. That's a lot of new apartments. Could that be enough to, like, put a dent in that tight residential supply?
It's possible.
And maybe even bring prices down?
It could. It really depends on a few things.
Like what?
Well, are those units going to be priced to attract a different kind of renter?
People who are priced out of the current market.
Exactly. Or are they just going to appeal to people who already live in Lancaster, who just want like a newer place to live?
So it's about attracting the right people to really move the needle.
Yeah, and location matters too.
Greenfield's still developing.
It is.
So this project could really accelerate that growth.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay, so we've got the apartment complex. Then there's that Willow Valley Crossroads development
Yeah, the retail one.
with all the shopping and dining and stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see how that impacts things.
It seems like they're really investing in those lifestyle amenities
They are.
to try to attract new residents and businesses.
It's all about creating that experience now.
Yeah, people want more than just a place to live or work.
Exactly.
They want a community.
And all the things that come with it.
Okay, so those are the big flashy projects. But we can't forget about the infrastructure stuff.
Right.
Like the Walnut Street extension.
Those are important.
Yeah, improving traffic flow, making it easier to get around.
That can have a huge impact on property values.
It's all connected.
It really is.
Speaking of connected, I want to talk about Chandra Mast at Red Rose Appraisals.
Oh, yeah. She's doing some really cool stuff.
She's using AI
I know. It's fascinating.
to analyze the real estate market.
Which is brilliant because
Yeah.
the market's so complex these days.
It's not just about looking at spreadsheets anymore.
No way.
She's using AI to, like, see the future,
Well, that's the goal, right?
to get ahead of the trends.
To make smarter decisions.
So how do you think AI is going to change the real estate industry?
I think it's going to be huge. Imagine investors using AI to identify the next hot market.
Or developers using it to design buildings that people actually want.
Exactly.
It's like having a crystal ball.
But it's not magic, it's data.
Data-driven decisions.
That's the future.
Well, it's been fascinating diving into all this with you.
Yeah, this is great.
The Lancaster real estate market is definitely one to watch.
So much going on.
It's got a little bit of everything.
Old and new. Residential and commercial.
It's a dynamic market.
And with AI starting to play a role.
Who knows what the future holds?
Exciting times for sure.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll be back next time with more real estate insights. Until then, happy investing.